Wood is a natural resource. It is renewable, light and strong, and has low thermal transmittance. Wood products can make a significant contribution to low carbon buildings because they are energy efficient and because they are themselves low carbon. Windows are a good example. Wood windows, double or triple glazed, provide excellent energy efficiency while the frames are carbon negative over a 60-year service life. The sustainability of wood windows is recognised in the BRE Green Guide, which rates wood windows as A or A+. Ensure windows are made with timber from sustainably managed forests by asking for chain of custody certification. In a recent study commissioned by the Wood Window Alliance, we have demonstrated that using wood to make windows has a significantly lower environmental impact than using PVCU alternatives. This new research, conducted here at Heriot-Watt University in Edinburgh, shows that all the timber-framed options considered actually have a negative global warming potential over a 60-year lifespan. Trees and wooden products act as a carbon store. To best work out the environmental impact of wood windows, we used the latest CIMA-Pro software and the EcoInvent database. This provided a comprehensive, cradle-to-grave life cycle assessment of Wood Window Alliance specification windows. We considered timber, modified timber and aluminium-clad timber frames and compared these to PVCU alternatives. On this graph, which has been indexed to 100, the orange lines show the PVCU windows. As you can see, their impact is much larger. We found that all the timber-based frames shown here by the coloured lines had a significantly lower environmental impact. There is one exception. Not all timber-based windows did well in terms of ozone layer depletion. The most significant measurement we looked at is global warming potential, expressed in carbon dioxide equivalents. We used the estimated lifespan of wood windows from an earlier study and took into account the cradle-to-grave impact of each frame across a range of exposures from mild to severe. Again, the orange line shows how PVCU windows have a heavy global warming impact, whereas the timber-framed ones considered, shown by the coloured lines, are actually carbon negative over 60 years. The PVCU windows, which will have had to be replaced once during the period, are responsible for emissions of over 100 kilograms of carbon dioxide equivalents. The timber frame has the best profile, but even the modified timber and aluminium-clad timber frames outperform PVCU by a considerable margin. We know that what happens to the window frame at the end of its life has a big effect on the outcome of an LCA study. So we asked ourselves how these results might be affected if we made different end-of-life assumptions. The first question we asked is how the results would be affected if we didn't count the value of end-of-life recycling at all. Then we wondered how important the onward recycling of materials was. So we looked at the effect of using these to make new products. We then looked at the effect of incinerating all end-of-life materials, offsetting the electricity produced against emissions. We also considered how future changes in the carbon intensity of energy generation might affect results. We looked at current carbon intensity, 50% of current carbon intensity, and a hypothetical scenario of carbon-free electricity. As you can see from this chart, where the PVCU windows are seen in orange and the what-if scenarios are shown by the black bars, all the timber-based window frame materials considered have a lower global warming potential than PVCU alternatives. This is the case across every scenario. We have demonstrated that using wood window frames instead of PVCU saves roughly 160 kilograms of carbon dioxide equivalents over 60 years in average conditions. The saving is almost as big for aluminium-clad and modified timber frames, roughly 140 kilograms of carbon dioxide equivalents. So in a house with 10 windows, that's a saving of roughly 1.5 tonnes of carbon dioxide equivalents, whichever timber frame is used. That's the same as driving a family car for over 4,000 miles. To see the full report, go to the publications section of the Wood Window Alliance website, www.woodwindowalliance.com.